here we go. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Zachary Smith. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already, if you are new, or if you are a returning guest and haven't yet already. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that like, and leave me a comment down below as we work through this video, continuing to go through 4-round mock drafts for every team in the NFL in the order in which they make their first selection for the 2023 NFL draft. We are on my Pittsburgh Steelers, having 5 selections in the first 4 rounds. The first draft by Omar, Andy Weidl, a new front office taken over. How are they going to approach their first NFL draft running the show? Again, 5 picks within the first 4 rounds as we sit here right now, doing the stick and pick approach throughout this entire thing. That's how many we will be making today. A lot of interesting things to go through here. You take a look at, they're a team in the past, and I say in the past because, again, this is a new front office, that you can get a pretty good read on. You look at the draft tendencies that they have, where they at, what pro days they're at, who they bring in for visits. They're normally pretty telltale signs for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If Tomlin and Khan, or in the past, and Colbert are at a pro day, their first round pick is coming from within there. And then, like, a lot of day 2 guys you see are the guys that are making the visits to Pittsburgh with those top 30 visits. But we'll jump into this and let's see what we come away with. Let's see how we can help the Pittsburgh Steelers and get Kenny Pickett rolling on that rookie contract in year 2. I don't want to be the big screen. There we go. Let's see if we can get anything different here at the top. Richardson over Stroud. Okay. That could maybe push Levis down, which it has. How does Tennessee not take Levis at 11? 13 to the Jets. The Jets didn't trade for Aaron Rodgers. They're rolling with Levis. Again, stick and pick. Dalvin Cook. I know Minnesota's trying to trade him, but yeah, we're not interested there. Okay, so here we are at 17. The name everybody sees still on the board, Joey Porter. In this spot, the Steelers, they could do that. I think, the guy that is very much in play, whether you want him to be or not here, is Darnell Wright. And it's getting kind of boring to take him because I've just done it so often at this point, and he's never going to go before this. So, like, he's always going to be available in these mock drafts for the Steelers, even though somebody, who was it, man? Somebody recently just had him at 9. Was it in Mel Kiper's latest mock? Somebody just had him at 9 as to the Bears. First tackle off the board, or second tackle off the board, maybe. No, first, I think. But either way, like, the Jets at 13, they could definitely be in play for him, in my opinion. Washington could at 16, in my opinion. But most of the time, doing this simulation on Pro Football Network, just because of, like, where they have him ranked in this kind of drafting based off that, he's, like, always going to be available to the Steelers at 17. And then it's like, I know that there's a very good chance that that's what they would do. So to me, in this spot, I think the short list is Darnell Wright. They like Anton Harrison, I think. I think that, I don't know, at 17 if they do it. I would, he's my tackle too. Like, I would take him here before I would take Darnell Wright here. DeJuan Jones, I think, is a sneaky potential pick at 17. I think it's definitely in play at 32 should he get there. But they don't know if he's going to get there. So if they like him enough to take him then, why not just take him at 17? And you get the 5th-year option doing it that way. And then Joey Porter Jr., like I mentioned before, Deonte Banks is there as well. Probably comes down to, which one do you like more? And for the Steelers, I'm not sure. I mean, there's honestly a lot of similarities between the two players, in my opinion. And people were calling Deonte Banks kind of at the start of this process like Joey Porter light. I like Deonte Banks a little more than Joey Porter. Cam Smith is I like Cam Smith. I think he's got better ball skills than either the first two there that I mentioned. But his 2022 tape was just not as good as his 2021. He definitely took a step back last year at South Carolina, and then you start asking yourself why. Probably it for me in terms of the corners that would be in play. There's, there was some topic of Tyreek Stevenson yesterday at the time of recording this. To me, that's a smoke screen. That's probably his agent trying to put something out there and get him drafted higher. He's in play, in my opinion, in round 2. I like Tyreek Stevenson. He just doesn't have like that one true calling card for him. He's just an overall solid player. But, it's not like he has elite ball skills. It's not like he's an elite press man corner. There's nothing about him that's like elite. He's just solid all around. I love Julius Brents. Want him in round 2. Linebackers, they're all on the board. They'd have their pick of the litter there. Lucas Van Ness, to me, is definitely in play. They list him as an edge. I think he's better as an interior rusher. Nolan Smith recently mocked to the Steelers and won. I love Nolan Smith as a player. I don't know that would be the direction they go. I think Van Ness makes more sense for the Steelers than Nolan Smith, even though I like Nolan Smith better. That's probably it for me in terms of what would be on the table at 17. I don't think they take a center guard this high, but I think they're in play. So I've been going through these and trying to be like somewhat what I would do, also somewhat predictive and combining them. For that reason, I'm just so sick of taking Darnell Wright that we're not going to do it. And I actually keep avoiding him. So let's just see how it plays out. Should we take Joey Porter Jr. at 17 for the Steelers? Should this happen? This is what a lot of the fan base wants. This is also what a lot of the fan base doesn't want. It's very split. A lot of people think he's only being drafted this high because of his name and, connected to the Steelers because of his name. I think he's a good player. Again, I like Deontay Banks a little bit more. That's not to take away from him, though. This one is relatively easy. They're taking DeJuan Jones at 32 if he gets there, I think. I think there's some other names they, like Zay Flowers, I think they like. I don't know if they do it right here. Oh, Darnell Wright is here, though, too. Yeah, it'd be Darnell Wright or DeJuan Jones. I don't know why my board was starting right here at 32 and going down. Brian Branch is still in play, too. I would love Brian Branch, but I don't know that they'd go secondary. They could. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Whether it's Wright or DeJuan Jones, they're both going to be right tackle. You're not going to ask either one to play left, I don't think, for very different reasons. DeJuan Jones, 6'8", just a mountain of a man. He hasn't played the left side. I think you just keep him there. I don't know that he has he's a mobile guy for his size, but it's not like, the mobility is off the charts. It's not like the footwork is off the charts to play left side. I don't know that he can do it. And Darnell Wright, just the arm length is going to kind of, in my opinion, stick him on the right side. It's also people make it seem like it's just an easy transition. Even going from left to right, some guys can't do it. It's not just oh, your worst tackle plays on the right side. DeJuan Jones or Darnell Wright, I don't know. I think they've met with DeJuan Jones more. We're gonna go DeJuan Jones. Again, I've just taken Darnell Wright so many times throughout this. I'm almost getting bored of it. Maybe that's a bad reason to pass him up because it's very possible that they do it. Is somebody gonna take him? We could have just very odd. Very odd. Kalijah Cansey's still here. I like Kalijah Cansey a lot. I think he's has the best interior pass rush toolbox in this draft class. I don't know that he fits the Steelers. He should be gone by now. I don't know that he fits the Steelers, though. To me, I'm between. So if I'm being just straight up predictive and not including what I would do in this, Gervon Dexter, Keanu Benton are in play. I'm tempted to take Jack Campbell here. Keon White. People are probably going to not want to take edge this early. I mean, who else do they have on the roster right now behind TJ and Alex Highsmith? And Alex Highsmith is only guaranteed to be here this year. I mean, predictively, I think they get an extension done. But even in that case, you need 3 edge rushers regardless. You can never have enough pass rushers. Yeah, I love Sidney Brown. Antonio Johnson can do a lot of different things. Steve Avila is a good player. They've met with him too. I'm confused by as much interest as there is in the interior offensive line. Especially like the guy's got to be center capable, in my opinion. Like you have Daniels and Samalo as your guards, and those are two really good guards. There's been some talk of like Daniels' position isn't safe. Why? Why would it not be? I'd love to talk him into Cedric Tillman in this spot. I just don't think it would happen. I'm talking a lot. I think they're going to wait till 80 for the receiver. That's my thing. I think this is the spot where they'll go somewhere along the defensive line. We got corner and tackle so far. This to me is the spot where they go somewhere along the defensive line. And I'd love for it to be Cansey. Just don't think he fits what they're looking for. I think they like Gervon Dexter a lot. I've taken him in the. Where do you go Keon White? Where do you go Keon White? Out of Georgia Tech, who was actually invited to the draft. So, based off that, I don't know that he gets anywhere close to this spot. The NFL very clearly much higher on him than the media. But yeah, I mean, I think that when you get that's a good representation of where the league feels about him. So I think you're looking at a guy that goes, maybe he doesn't sneak into round one, and it's kind of like he's gonna be thinking I shouldn't be here right now. But I think he'll go early on day 2 if that's the case. Yeah, this is the spot to me where they would add a pass catcher, and then it becomes, which one. For me personally, I'd be tempted to go tight end and take Sam Laporta. But they need a receiver. They need a slot receiver. There's a lot here. I mean, Tyler Scott isn't maybe a little bit redundant with Calvin Austin. Yeah. I like A.T. Perry. I love Jaden Reed and Jonathan Mingo. They've had Bryce Ford Wheaton in, who's a bigger guy. Parker Washington would make a ton of sense for what they're looking for specifically. How big is Trey Palmer? 6 foot. I thought so. I mean, they've had interest in all these guys, but where did go Jaden Reed? Where did go Jaden Reed? He was in Pittsburgh for a visit. They got a close look at him. I think that he's definitely in play as we work into the later portion of day 2. Should he be available? And again, I think that 80 spot is kind of the sweet spot for them to take a pass catcher. Everybody talks about this receiver room. It's like, also I just noticed this ad right above it, and that's hilarious. I like what they have in Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, and I'm intrigued by Calvin Austin. You can't hang your hat on that. Like, you cannot feel super confident that he's going to just come in and be what you hoped when you drafted him after that foot injury. He's not a proven commodity. You need to get more darts in that. You need to throw more darts, in my opinion, at the position. All right, at this point, like, we could double dip on corner, in my opinion, especially because you're not going to ask Porter to play inside, so you need a slot. I really like Darius Rush a ton. I like Alex Austin too. Servassier Dennis, keeping him in Pittsburgh, could be, maybe your coverage linebacker potentially. Olu Uluwatami, if they're looking interior and we didn't, go that direction yet. You could redshirt Andrew Voorhees. Chandler Zavala is a guy that they had in. Oh, I mean, Jacorian Bennett and Kytrell Clark are both very enticing here. If you're looking for a slot. Porter Jones, White Reed. I mean, with the interest in the interior offensive line, you think they're going to take one at some point. Yeah, we're going to go Olu, the center out of Michigan. Gives you a little bit of a project behind Mason Cole, so he doesn't have to play right away. I don't know what it is. Like, are they looking for a guy to start this year? Because it certainly seems like they're looking at guys that are going to go, within those top 50 picks. So a guy that they're taking at some point in round two. If not, I can't see it being 17. So yeah, 32 or 49, in my opinion, is really the guys that they're bringing in and getting a close look at. But it's got to be a center capable guy, in my opinion. Even then, like Mason Cole was fine. Like, and you've already started to build some rapport there with Kenny. So I don't know. You already like bring in Isaac Samalo and Nate Herbig. It's interesting. It's interesting. I feel like it definitely adds interior offensive line into your mind is like this is a position they could take relatively early. So prepare yourself for it. But either way, here we go. 4 rounds. Joey Porter Jr., DeJuan Jones, Keon White, Jaden Reed, and Olu Ulutami. Very different from a lot of mocks that I've done in the past. Again, I've kind of been avoiding what has looked like very possible picks for the sake of redundancy and trying to be a little bit different. So taking into consideration that kind of like what I would do mixed with a little bit predictively, this is what we come away with. The only one that I've really done here quite often is Jaden Reed. I love him in this spot. Him or Jonathan Mingo at 80 is kind of like my dream in terms of the Steelers adding a receiver in this draft. This is where I would be looking to do it. I think that's where the value is going to be, is around that spot. So let me know how you feel about it, whether you're a Steelers fan, just a fan of the NFL in general. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about each individual pick, what you would have done differently. I'll be looking forward to having some conversations throughout. But next, who do we got? Who's pick? Oh, wait, we would have done 18 already because of the Lions. So Tampa Bay with pick 19 will be the next one that we got here. So stay tuned for that. But until then, be sure to like the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell on the channel so you don't miss a single piece of content we're putting out. And again, leave me a comment down below. Until next time,